I feel so excited for this Top 5 Wednesday video. I feel like I'm going to nerd out and be very rambly, so totally bear with me in all the excitement. Hello friends, happy Wednesday. So very excited that you're here. So excited that I am back, that this week has been significantly less chaotic and I'm filming. I am so sorry about last week that I was not able to do a full video of Top 5 Wednesday. I was really hoping to be able to do so, but there were just some things going on in my car and just some other stresses that were involved and I just couldn't seem to focus and sit down and be actually to film. I am hoping to come back to that video or that prompt someday and do a full review, or full video I should say, because I was really bummed. But today's Top 5 Wednesday and I'm here and I am so excited for this prompt. It's going to be so much fun. Shout out to my Patreon channel members which recommended this, and if you would like to join and give other prompt suggestions, definitely check out the sign up link down below because I just put out the Top 5 Wednesday prompt suggestions, like the thing I do it monthly in the group, and I just put it out here recently. Very excited to see what they come up with because I have loved all of the prompts this month and today is no exception. But in case if you're not familiar with Top 5 Wednesday, in a nutshell, basically each week I answer a prompt using 5 books, but in this case I do manga to reflect the said prompt. And today's prompt is manga so good that you had to buy merch of. And I will just say right now, Haikyuu's not on this list. Obviously, I love Haikyuu and I have plenty of Haikyuu merch. I mean, I think half, we'll say 75% of my merch collection, my pen collection, all of it, I was thinking sticker collection as well. It's mainly Haikyuu. I'm not even going to deny that. So Haikyuu won't be on this list, but it should be because it's just so good. I needed more merch of it. But yeah, we're talking about series that just you really loved and you're like, I love this so much, I need merch ASAP. And honestly, I struggle with this a lot because almost everything I read, if I really love it, I want merch of it. This is actually a reason I have not watched as much anime in recent years, because if I watch the anime and I love the anime, I automatically go and buy merch. This is just a thing that I've noticed, a trend finally that I noticed. And so I've really cut back on my anime watching because I want to buy the manga, I want to buy all the merch. I mean, I want everything. Anything and everything I can get my hands on, I want it. But today I'm trying to do my top 5 that I thought of. Okay, I read this book or this series and I'm like, I need to have merch. I mean, some of these I have hunted down for a few years or a year, some time frame in there that I was just like, I need it. I need it. And these are going to be in no particular order because I really don't know what order to put these in. I'll probably start with the ones I don't actually have physically, at least just yet. So let's go ahead and start off with number 1. I knew when I read this series, when I binge read this series, excuse me, last year, I think it was last November, I believe, I knew I had to have merch of this. And that is My Secretly Hot Husband, which has not released yet, but Eyes Press did a license announcement of it last October, I think it was, or last November. It is coming and it needs to hurry up and come. This was my favorite book of 2023. I absolutely loved it. I mean, it was amazing. I spent money on it because I just couldn't do the whole thing. I laughed because I could have, but I was not patient enough where, you can do surveys to get points, whatever you can do. I think it's ink is what it's called on Tapas, but doing what you can to get free ink so you're not using real money. And I said, hey, this series is 50% off the chapters are. I'm getting them. I'm getting as many as I can. And that is what I did. So this year I have been looking for My Secretly Hot Husband merch and I found things, but they weren't like fan made. And unless it's, yes, there's official art, but I rather buy from an official source, if that makes sense. So I buy a lot of fan made merch and I love it because I really love supporting creators and artists. Like that is a huge joy for me. So I sort of prefer usually majority of the time to buy fan made. And so saying all of that, Mochi's pen collection, I believe is her, and I will leave a link down to all of these creators and these artists. Go support them. Their art and merch is amazing, though I am sorry if you buy things. Like I do apologize because you're going to want to buy something. You're going to want to buy something. But she had a My Secretly Hot Husband pen. She actually has 2 of them. I couldn't get the one, but I did get this one and look at them. Oh my goodness. I love them. I think you can see Erden. Well, this is like part of her doll collection and he's right there where you can see her holding him, and I love it. It's one of my favorite collections, pin collections that she has. It's just so fun and it's so cute, and I loved this series so much. I binge read it in a few days. I couldn't get enough of it. It was so magical and the romance was everything. I mean, it's like an arranged marriage, but a very slow arranged marriage, like slow burn, I mean. But it's so satisfying when the feelings are returned and things are coming out, and it's just, oh gosh, it is so good. I love it very, very much, and I am like ecstatic for it to finally get physically printed. I know it's coming because one of their other licenses that they did was Beware the Villainous, and that one finally has a pre-order link and date and everything. So I'm like, come on, like let my secretly hot husband be next. It's so very good. I would highly recommend it. It is a manhwa, but if you're looking for a shorter one, because I think it's only 3 volumes, and you're looking for an isekai that has some fun tropes and just a girl boss character. I mean, our main girl here, she set up a pyramid scheme kind of thing to take down these bad guys. All of the characters are very wonderful and very interesting, like even some of the bad guys. And I honestly felt like I was on the edge of my seat. I really didn't know who was the ultimate villain behind these different things that are happening because Erden has been cursed. He thinks he's really ugly, but he is so handsome. And so our main girl can see it. She can see how handsome he is, but anytime she tries to tell him, I forgot to say, Erden wears a mask, so like nobody sees his face, but she saw his face as his wife. She's tried to tell him, like, you are really handsome, like you're not ugly, you don't have like these warts and skin disease and everything. Like, no, you don't have any of that. But when she's tried to tell him these things, something bad always really happens. And it comes to the point where like she goes to tell him, and this being, this entity, we don't know at that moment, we don't know who it is, but that entity tells her, if you tell Erden that, you know, he's just been cursed and you tell him what he really looks like, I'm coming after you and after him. He gives her like premonition, there we go, of what could happen to Erden if she voices the truth. And so they're trying to figure out why he has this on him and how to break it. Well, falling in love with one another, and it's very sweet. And then you have all these like magical things and fantasy things. It's a beautiful, amazing story. Would highly recommend it, and I cannot wait for us to get the manhwa physically. So yeah, that is my little pin of them. There is another one. I don't know if she has it up. If she does, I will leave a screenshot of it here because it's so beautiful, and it was one I really wanted, but I try to only get pins that are $30 and lower because it's really easy to want a very super shiny piece of metal that's pretty expensive but just looks really beautiful and makes me really happy. So I got this smaller one because it's cuter and it was in my price range and I just really, really love it. For number 2, I was honestly hoping that this series would already be here. It's been shipped, my pre-order's on the way, but it's not here yet. And I'm hoping that, I guess by the time this video goes live, that it's actually here. So for number 2, I am saying Loving Yamada, though I think it's what, My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999. I don't know the full title. I just always say Loving Yamada. But when I first read it digitally, I have a review up. It was on Manga. It's still on Manga, but at the time there was no like physical license announcement. There was no anime announcement. There was none of that. It was just the digital on Manga. I read that series 3 to 5 times back to back. I remember I was really sick when I read it and it just brought me so much joy. After I read it, I was like, I need some merch of them. And there was no merch. There was nothing. But then the anime came, the license announcement came, and all of this merch just started pouring out. And I was like, this is my time to finally get some merch of them. And so this was, I have 2 other pins that are Loving Yamada, and I also have a sticker that I recently bought, but I sold off other pins so I could get this pin. And this is by, I don't know how you say this one actually, but it's Geek something. I will leave the name of her shop right here. And I will say, I usually don't get couple pins like this, but I love them. Look how cute they are. When I saw this in her shop, because this was one of the first times that I was seeing a pin in, you know, of Loving Yamada, both of them in pin form, that I was like, I have to get my hands on this. I have to do whatever it takes. And I did. I did whatever it took to get them. And I'm so happy I have them. I think I have only featured them in maybe like one of my photos, like on Instagram and X/Twitter, but I love them. And I'm so excited for me to have the physical volume. I know a lot of people have been very upset by the cover design. I'm not a fan either, ain't gonna lie, but I'm just really thankful to have it physically. That was a series I felt really impacted me and just made me very excited. I mean, I am definitely a person prone to rereading things and obsessing with things, but that series was one of the first in a really long time where I just could not physically move on to anything else. Like, I would just be like, you know what? I finished. Like, let's just reread it again because I'm just gonna do it because I want to. And so I know I did that a full solid reread 3 different times. And so I knew because of that, I needed to get merch of them. I needed them represented in my pin collection. And so I was so excited when I saw this pen when I found it, and I made sure to pre-order it because I wanted nothing standing in the way of me getting my hands on this. I didn't want it to depend on in-hands and hope that like, okay, hopefully they won't sell out. Like, no, I need to have the best of the batch and I need to have it ASAP. And so that is what happened. So I've been very, very happy that we have so much Loving Yamada merch because, man, if you were reading it digitally, like, there wasn't nothing, y'all. There was no kind of merch. I mean, no stickers, nothing. I mean, maybe you could find some like stuff of people slapping panels on buttons or stickers on Redbubble, but that's it. You weren't finding anything fan-made and you just sort of had to be content. And I was not fully content because I wanted, you know, merch of them. So I knew when I was thinking of books to feature for this prompt, Loving Yamada was definitely one of the first series that came to mind because I was just so happy when we had merch of them because it just felt so hard. Now it's everywhere and it's glorious and I'm so very happy. For number 3, going into the physical manga that I actually have, and this was one that there was no merch at all, and that is The Saint's Magic Power is Omnipotent. I was trying to think, I was like, Laura, why do you love this series so much? I have a video review talking more in depth about why I love it, but I feel like this morning it's just hard to put my finger on why I love it. I love Sei. Sei is in my best girls of female characters I've ever read. And when I read this series, I knew I wanted merch, and there was no merch. There was no merch, despite that there was 2 seasons of anime that were out. There was nothing. There was nothing. And I'm just like, not again. Because I'm like, this is repeating Loving Yamada over again. And I'm like, I just have to hope and pray that an artist will do art. And there was one. There was one, and that is Annie Doodles. So I think she's changed her. It's Sakura something, but she had a pen. And it was outside of my price range. But I told my husband, I was like, look, this is a big pen. Usually I don't pay this much for a pen. But I was like, I'm getting this pen. And I mean, I feel bad because there was no discussion. It was like, I will get this because it was the first time ever that I had seen merch of this series, seen merch of this couple, and Annie Doodles has some of the most beautiful couple art that I've seen. Yes, and I got it of Albert and Sei, and look at them. It's stained glass. I don't know if you could tell. Yeah, you can. It's stained glass, like the background, and the yellow part, I will try and leave a picture here. It actually glows in the dark. I love it. I love it. When I saw it, it was perfection. I was obsessed. So funny enough, after I got this one, a few weeks later, there was another pen creator that actually did a Chabib form of them. I wasn't able to get that pin, unfortunately, but I am so thankful to have this. I adore this series so much. It's very calming, but it's very rewarding and satisfying. I feel like Sei really be able to come into her passions, see her have her own romance with Albert because, oh my gosh, I love him. The Winter Knight, yes, yes, I ship them very, very much. And so this pen definitely means a lot to me because of not being able to find anything and then seeing it and for it to be just so beautiful. I mean, it's palm size. It's a big pen. And I literally, when I redid my pen board for, like, I have multiple haiku ones, but for my shoujo pen board, I purposely put this pen at the very middle, at the heart of this board because of just how much I love this. And again, how excited I was. I never thought that there'd be any merch of them for a series that's so touching, and it's not slow. It's slow in releases though. I'm not going to front on that. It is slow releasing, and I wish we could get the volumes faster, but I always feel so very invested. I love the whole cast of characters, and Sei, she just has a part of my heart. I really love her. I feel like she's just very inspiring in the way that she's helping other people and putting aside her own wants of, wanting to live a quiet life. She knows she has this saintly ability, and she's using those magic and that ability to help other people. It's very beautiful, very moving. So I'm so thankful I have this pen, and just that Annie Doodles, that she made it. And if more pen makers want to make some, merch of them, my wallet is ready for you. For number 4, I am so excited for this one because it's actually sort of a funny story. It's interesting because I probably should have done this actually as an honorable mention, but that is Villains Are Destined to Die. But what's funny about this, okay, whenever Yen Press, Ice Press did announcement of this. It was sort of like how was it? I think it was they did the license announcement, and then at the con, they said, hey, we're going to be selling early copies of Villains Are Destined to Die, and if you order, or if you buy when you're there, you get a free acrylic stand. I knew nothing about this series. I was very intrigued by the cover. My friend Nick was going on a whim. I was like, hey, Nick, can you go get me this? Because I wanted this acrylic stand of Penelope. She's just so beautiful. I'm like, well, even if I don't like the the series, you know, because I hadn't read it yet. I was like, I know I will like this acrylic stand because she's just so beautiful. I never knew in that moment, one of the best spur of the moment decisions I ever made, because I'm obsessed with this series. I mean, we see my new profile picture and my new opening and intro or outro. I mean, it's me and Penelope. She's best girl and I love her. So I'm so thankful to have this, but I never really expected to become so obsessed. And so she was another series that I just felt like I was struggling to find merch of. My mind's like, why? Why would it be hard to find something so good? And the same as Mochi's pen collection, she had some pins, and I think I had not been following her that long. She did a Manhwa edition. Guess who was on there? You're right. Penelope and Callisto, part of her dog collection, and I was like, I need it. I pre-ordered it very shortly, and oh my gosh, when it came, I mean, the video don't even do it enough justice. I don't even think you could see Callisto very well. He's so cute though. And it's funny because at the time, I was not on the Callisto hype train, and I was like, I can forgive that she's holding Callisto. I'm just here for Penelope because she's honestly my favorite character in the whole series. I mean, no, I do not like all the guys. I like Callisto, but I mean, still now, Penelope is my favorite character. So I was like, I'm gonna buy it for Penelope. We're doing this for, little did I know that future me would join the hype train of Callisto and be really happy that I did buy it because Callisto's on it. In fact, Mochi just had I think it was about 2 weeks ago, because I think she recently got married, but before she closed her shop for, you know, her ceremony and stuff, she had new art of Penelope and Callisto, and the urge to get this pen. It's beautiful. I mean, it was a big pen, and I like the more smaller ones like this, but it was just so gorgeous. And I finally, after like hemming and hawing, was going to get it, but it's sold out. Rightfully so. But it's funny enough because this morning I was actually talking to a friend of mine that is an artist, and I was like, hey, I'm obsessed with your Penelope art that you have right now. I was like, would you be willing to just let me print this? Just personal use. I'm like, I don't want to sell it. I'm like, I just want some stickers of your art because it's so cute. And she said yes, though in my excitement, I didn't read that like you have to buy a high amount of stickers. And I'm like, I told her we could just do like 25 and I'll just split half with her. So I'm waiting to see what she says because I don't know if she'd still be on board with that, but I'm hoping she is because I cannot get enough of Penelope and this series. It's so good. I recently did on Instagram, it was like your favorite 2024 reads, and I did 2 of their series, but I also said Villains Are Destined to Die, and I mentioned how I honestly feel like, I know we're early in the year of 2024, but I feel like this series, this manhwa is going to be one of my favorite reads of 2024. I feel so emotional, and I feel all of the things, and how upset I was with the last volume and feeling so betrayed by Winter that I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, one of my other features gets up there, but I don't think it tops Penelope in the same way. I feel a lot of emotions when I read that series, and I love it, and I love to hate some of the characters, but Penelope just hits me so differently, and I'm like, I want to be your biggest fan. I want to be your biggest cheerleader, and even if I don't always agree with all of your decisions that you're making, I'm here for you. I'm standing with you and your happiness because she deserves nothing but the best of the best, and being so happy because she's been through so much, and I'm just like, I love you so much, Penelope. Like, I truly want the best of her for her. So I'm excited to have both of these Penelope merch, even though the second one, this one was definitely I had to have merch of, and this one it's just funny to me that I never knew that I was like, hey, I just want it because it looks cool, looks pretty, and here we are today, completely obsessed with it. For number 5, I'm excited to talk about this because I feel like when it comes to my photos and merch that I use, I hardly ever use merch of this series, and that is Ao Haru Ride. And the reason I wanted to feature this is because I have definitely read a lot of shoujo manga before I read this series, and I had read other Iosaki Saka manga before this series as well. But when it comes to merch and it comes to pins, I read the whole thing, and I really, really wanted merch. I was very touched by Futaba's journey and how she grew, and how, like, through all of the messiness that happened in the middle with the other guy, I'm forgetting his name right now, but the blonde hair dude, which I was not a fan of because I didn't like how he pressured Futaba, not in a, I guess, a bad way, but I'm like, dude, you knew what was going on. You knew about what was going on with her heart. But anyway, I was really touched, and I loved the ending, and it's actually the only shoujo anime that I have completed to this day. Seventh Time Loop is the honorable mention because I'm waiting for more volumes to cover the anime, and then I'm gonna finish it because I watched all of that except for I think like the last 2 episodes. But I love the anime so much, and I don't get the hate towards this series because I love it. It was just a really emotional and exciting, angsty adventure, and so because of that, I remember going on Etsy and I was like, let me go see if there's any merch for this series, and there was. So my very first set of pens that were shoujo that I ever bought was for Our Haru Ride, and the creator is Delulu Design. I think it's how you say that, or I think that's what it says. It's so tiny, but I think it's Delulu Design. And I bought these, I don't think they're chibibs, but I bought it of Futaba and Kyo because I just really, really love this series. And it's funny because I've thought about coming back to it. Like, I don't plan to get rid of it or anything, but I'm like, I need to reread it. But I have been like worried about the angst in the series because it was a lot the first time, but it was so good. It was so good. Iosaki Saga, she can really hit that angst. I will give it to her. But I wanted to showcase them, yeah, because I feel like it's hard for me to use these because the blue isn't bigger than the brown and black, but I look at them on my pin board and I'm just so thankful that I have them, that there's merch of Our Haru Ride. And there's definitely, I found being more active in the pin community, there's a lot of merch in Our Haru Ride, and despite the loud voices on Twitter saying that it's horrible and all these other things, the pin community would tell you differently, okay? There is still, to this day, so much merch of them, not just like old merch that was made. I mean like merch that's being created in the present, in the now, that is coming out and it's being sold out and people are absolutely loving it. And I feel rightfully so. It's a very special series. And I remember that I really related to Futaba, and well, I don't know if related is the right word, but I remember being very touched by her journey of wanting to make decisions for herself and not just how she thought other people would view her, because people pleasing definitely has been a struggle for me in the past, and even times now where it's like I want to look cool in somebody else's eyes, and it's like, no girl, you don't got to. Be yourself. Be yourself. That's all you can do. That's the best you can be, is by being you. So I love these and very excited, happy that I could feature these today because I don't have, no, I did buy a sticker of them. I don't remember who the sticker maker is, but I did buy stickers of them because I just love them, and I'm really due for a reread of the series. For my honorable mention, this is like my second favorite manhwa ever, and to this day I am still waiting, still looking for some pins that are like of this manhwa, and that is The Remarried Empress, which recently or is almost wrapped up for season 3 of the finale. I have read it. It was very, very good. I'm very sad it's over. Like, what do I do with my Saturdays now? But I have not found any pins of them, of, you know, her and Queen. I wanted of, you know, of Henry. I wanted, but I do have a sticker. Let me tell you, I almost cried the day that I found it on Etsy because I would regularly check, like, is there any more, you know, Remarried Empress merch? Like, come on, I need something. And I unfortunately don't know who this sticker maker is or who the artist is. Try, and I hope that they're still on Etsy, but I love them. It's such a big sticker. I didn't expect it to be so big. The colors are sort of dark a little bit, but I love this. I love Navier's small little smile here and just how happy she looks, because she's another girl that deserves the world, deserves all the happiness. And it's part of why I really love Henry's character. Despite the end of season 3, I was like, yeah, you know, like somebody said, seems like a very golden retriever kind of character. And then you remember he is not a full golden retriever. No, he's got some, I don't know, whatever dangerous animal in him that is not afraid to, I don't know if revenge is the right word, but we'll just leave it at that. Like, he's not afraid to do some shady things, I guess you would say, when it comes down to it, in the name of his love for Navier. So very interesting, but I really love his character just because of how much he loves and cares for Navier. He will give Navier the world if she were to ask for it. Like, he will not hold back. And I feel like with all the crappy things that Navier has gone through with the other emperor that shall not be named, amazing seeing her happiness now with Henry being by his side, and that she's not the icy queen that she once was, and that she shows emotions and feels different emotions. Like, well, we know she feels emotions, but she's outwardly expressing them, has been one of the most beautiful things about this series and gives me great joy. Also gives me great upset and very angry at other people. I ain't gonna front about that either. But I was talking about this. I was so excited. So I don't know how it happened. I think it was my friend Meg that shared in her stories on Instagram. She shared some fan art, and I was like, there's fan art? There's fan art of this series? And I found this artist. Oh my goodness. She is incredible. I've gotten to know her, and it's just been such a joy. Her art is amazing. I don't care which character it is. I love it all. I love it all. The ones of the Emperor, They'd be pretty good. They'd be pretty good, I will say. It really shows his true colors, but I have loved it. I will definitely leave her a link down below. Please go check it out. Like, all of it is amazing, and I cannot wait for her to open her shop because I'm like, I will be seated. I will be first in line. Like, give me all of it. Like, I need all of the prints. All of the prints. I don't care who it is. I'm getting prints of it because her art's just so wonderful, and it's just been such an amazing thing to see more people discover this series and love this series. I've really, really enjoyed it, and it's just really, it's actually probably the only webtoon. No, I think I do with Morgan and Oz a little bit, but I can definitely say with the latest chapters with the Remarried Empress, I was reading every single comment, and it was just so cool to see so many of us feel the same way, or to like see people express something. I'm like, I didn't think about it from that kind of angle and like view the story differently. It was an incredible experience. I'm like, I will be doing that for season 4 and hope that the creators have a long and well-rested break because they deserve it. But yes, some artists and pen makers, if you want to create this art or create some merch of them, I will be here. I will be here. My wallet will be here. And we will be ready because I desperately need it. I've even like brainstormed different designs of like what I could do, and I've just come up blank because I'm like, I don't know, but I'm like, I want to buy some merch of it. It's such a good story. I'm not into political dramas at all, but I'm into this series, and I'm into the politics. I'm into the drama. I'm into the romance. I'm here for all of it to see what goes down, what unfolds. It's so good. So I'm so happy that I at least have one sticker to represent one of my favorite series that I've read. And that, my friends, are my manga merch rambles. I guess more Manhwa because I had like, what, half this time around. But those are my rambles. I love all of these series, and I am a merch buying junkie, though I've done better this year, but it's hard because I want it all. I want my loves to be expressed in pen form, sticker form, any form that I can get. But I would love to hear from you, friends. What are some manga that you read and you're like, I need merch ASAP? Or what are some manga that you read that you want merch of? Because I totally get that too. Let me know down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!